Welcome, guys. Welcome. I wish I could sing your song to welcome you, but I'm gonna just hold off there. Welcome, guys. Join me for this short live session, and I'm gonna be here 30 minutes. Those are my target hours, my target minutes, not hours. I wouldn't be here for 30 hours. Welcome, guys. Welcome. So today I have a heated topic for you guys. It's going to be brief though. Um, if you're joining me, welcome. Please tap the screen as you come in. I have 30 minutes to be here. A minute is gone already, but I'm hoping somebody can join me. So if you're coming in, just let me know where you're watching me from. I'm live on both my YouTube and my TikTok channels. And if you're joining me, welcome. Tap on the screen as you come in. Thank you, guys. I'm here for 30 minutes. Thank you, guys. Welcome. I'm just gonna wait for maybe one more minute and see if anybody joins. And actually the weather here is looking horrible. It's about to storm. Yes, it's heavy. It's the hurricane season, so we are getting prepared. We are getting prepared for the hurricane season. If you're keeping up with news, you know that things have not been great over here in Texas, and people have lost lives. People have lost their property. People have lost their independence, if I may use that word. And some people have not even been found yet. So as we continue with our daily life, let's also remember those who are going through this tough moment, because this is not something easy. And we are hoping that things can get better for them. So if you're joining me, if you've seen the topic, or on my YouTube channel, I have it on there. Your fear factor is making you fail. Your fear factor is making you fail. So that's what we're going to talk about. Hello, welcome, guys. I see you all and I do appreciate you. Yes, thank you so much for joining me. And if you can tap on the screen as you come in, I'm looking for those likes so it can keep me up in the algorithm to help me better with my ranking. I would really appreciate. Welcome, guys. So we're going to talk about your fear factor is making you fail. Actually, this is a statement that I got from my cousin. I was on the phone with my cousin yesterday on my way from work. She's a darling. We talk once in a while, but when we talk, we kind of try to gather everything we need to talk about on that day. And we talked for maybe 30 minutes or so, halfway through my trip. And one statement that she made was that your fear factor is making you fail. And I was like, that's a very good topic for my next video. And here I am now, we're gonna talk about it. So we can define fear in different ways. And I'm just going to read what fear is, if you'll bear with me, because I don't have it up here. But fear is an emotional response to a perceived threat or danger. It's a natural survival mechanism that triggers the body's fight, flight, or freeze response, helping us react quickly to potentially harmful situations. But fear, it's not always just the physical danger. It can also be the psychosocial danger, psychological, like the fear of failure, rejection, or even uncertainty. There are different types of fear that always hold us back as we continue in this world. So let's talk about some of the fears that I came up with, because I had a little bit of time just to do research and to make sure I have the right thing for you guys over here. And if you're joining me, welcome guys. I'm talking about your fear is making you fail. Your fear factor is making you fail. So I'm live on both my YouTube and my TikTok channel. And we are talking about your fear factor is making you fail. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the fear of failure, just as the topic is saying, the fear of failure. So, you know, like one of those things where you want to do something, but you're scared. How about if I fail? You want to go back to school and you're scared that, how about if I don't pass my classes? You want to go back to school, but you're scared that, how about if I can't afford my tuition? That's what's keeping you back. And what does that mean? You haven't realized that the opposite of failure is success. You're just one way away from succeeding if you overcome that your fear of failure. Let's look at an example of starting a business. Not everybody is created to be an entrepreneur, but through learning the process, you can proceed, you can succeed in what you're trying to do. So if you don't get started with that, you're not going to make it to where you're trying to go. And in that case, you'll remain in this, your little corner, your little bubble, until you realize that you're running out of time, right? So overcoming that fear is what will make you succeed. Of course, the opposite of fear, the opposite of failure is succeed. The next thing is the fear of judgment. And this is where, as the humanity, we really go down. Yes. The fear of judgment. What will people think about me? What will people say about me? How do they perceive me? And once those things start going through our minds become too much preoccupied with so many things that we don't give room to the things that really matter to us, right? So you have to create space for what really matters for you to succeed in whatever is coming our way. So the fear of wondering, like, how much judgment am I going to face from my colleagues, from my family members? And when we talk about family is one of those things, one of those corners that can put us down so much, you know, because you have like a very good tie with these people, if I may use that term. But you also sit back and wonder, what will this family think of me? What will they say? Or let's say if you want to move on to something else, you're probably in an abusive relationship and you want to walk away. You are scared because your family doesn't believe in divorce, or your family doesn't believe in you walking away. You're in a relationship where all you're facing is infidelity. You're doing everything by yourself instead of getting help from your partner. And you're scared that if you talk about it, you're going to face judgment. You are in a class where you're learning. You have a question that you need to ask your instructor, but you are scared that your colleagues will judge you. They'll think of you as the stupid person in class. And instead of asking, you just sit there and you suffer in silence. But the truth is, people are always too focused on their own lives to care about what your missteps are. So let us learn to move forward without fear of judgment. The other thing is fear of not being good enough. We always strive for perfection. My daughter says that nothing is perfect. And she's right. She is right. Nothing is perfect. So when you move into that bubble where you try to compare yourself, you realize that you become your own poison by trying to be perfect. Always remember that there's no perfection. That you can do the best you can. You can be your best version and improve on other things as you move on with life. But always remember that there's no perfect life, right? There is no perfection. Always start small, stay consistent, and when you're able, try to catch up with your skills. And this will make you move into the perfection era. But even if you don't achieve the perfection, remember you are doing the best that you can, right? Okay, I'm not sure what's going on with this. Okay, bear with me, guys. All right, sorry, guys. This thing is acting up. One of my stands here is acting up, and I'm just trying to figure it out. Okay, welcome those who are joining me. We are talking about your fear factor is making you fail. Yes, your fear factor is making you fail. And I just ran into some technical difficulties here. I'm trying to fix my stand, please. Just bear with me. It's not gonna be long. So if you're joining me, welcome. I'm live on both my TikTok and my YouTube channel. And we're talking about your fear factor is making you fail. Welcome, guys. I hope you're still hanging out with me as I try to figure out this thing here. All right. Okay, guys, I'm back. I'm sorry. I do apologize. It's the technical difficulty that I faced here. But anyway, we've talked about fear of not being good enough. Now we're going to move on to the next fear, which is fear of rejection. Let me tell you one thing. And I know many of you guys in one way or another face rejection, whether from a friend, from a colleague, from work. Especially when you apply for a job and you open up an email and you see, hey, sorry, we've decided to go with another candidate. That's one of the worst nightmares nobody wants to see, right? Because when you apply for a job, your hope is to get the job, right? But at the same time, you want to get the job, you want to get a positive response, like, yeah, we've reviewed your application and we are excited to invite you for an interview. But when you open and you see that, sorry, we've decided to go with another candidate, that's a rejection nobody wants to see. So what can we say about rejection? Rejection can be felt personal, right? Everybody feels rejections differently. And rejection, it can be redirected. So let's say if you're rejected from a job application, instead of just sitting there after the rejection, you can move on and apply to another job, right? There's always more jobs for you to do. Meaning you can just take a detour and see what next. If you are looking for, let's say as a nurse, you're looking for an ICU job, but instead of getting the ICU job, you are not able to, you can apply to MedSurg, you can apply to a different department. And that's what is meant by rejection can be redirected. You can just take a detour because rejection is not a dead end. So the another thing is we need to understand that no gets you closer to a yes. So when somebody tells you, I can't give you the job, what's the reason? Some places will not give you a reason, but sometimes you can always figure out why you got a no. So if you get a no in this scenario, your hope is to get a yes in the next one. That means you have to work towards your yes, right? So rejection, a no is a step closer to a yes. So let us always look at rejection as not a fear, but a dream at your doorstep. The other thing we want to talk about is the fear of success. Isn't that strange? We all want to succeed, but in reality, we are scared of being successful. And one reason why, what I can think of off my head is when we talk about success, people look at it differently. You can be successful in your family, And when I talk about your family, I'm talking about both nuclear and extended family. You can be successful in your career. You can be successful in relationship. You can be successful in your health and fitness journey. You can be successful in social media. Yes, there are people who are successful here. Those who have millions of followers. And that's being successful in that era. But do you know that there are people who are stuck in their safe zone? Like, let's say they're successful in their social media. They don't want to move out of that. They're very comfortable in their solo life and they don't want to move on and join other people in being successful. There are also certain people who prefer being in their lone cycle there at the moment. But at the same time, being successful can be perceived differently. So let's talk about learning in success. So we talk about learning being an ongoing process. We continue learning. I continue learning every day. And let me tell you one thing. Yesterday when I was at work, I had a patient who we were watching him for so long. And when I say so long, was like 4 to 6 hours. We're like, okay. 1 minute you think he's getting better, and then the next minute when you're ready to discharge him, you go talk to him and he just looks so sick. Finally, we transferred him to a higher level of care. And looking back, it's one of those moments where we had to keep planning. Myself and the nurse I was working with, and thanks to her, she was awesome. She made me think outside the box, and that's what we want. We continue learning from each other, whether somebody's superior of you or inferior of you. We always have to learn from each other, and that's the goal. That's the goal that's gonna make us go towards that next step. And I want to go back and talk a little bit about the first fear that we talked about, fear of failure. As humans, we are always expected to achieve much, and sometimes it's not possible. So when we start to conquer the fear, we redefine what failure is. We try looking for feedbacks, we try looking for opinions, we try looking for ways of moving forward. Like right now, I'm stuck in a fear of saying yes or even saying no. If I say yes, am I going to be stuck in this situation? If I say no, what's my next move? So it's one of those moments you sit back and you wonder like, okay, God, give me the grace I need, the courage to move on, the wisdom to make the right decision, right? So we find ourselves stuck in scenarios. We find ourselves failing because we're scared. And that's normal. It's normal to be scared. We are humans, right? There's nobody who doesn't get scared. So once you're scared, the next thing is to move on, right? So I wanted to come on just for a few minutes and see what people think about fear and how your fear is making you fail. So I'm just gonna go ahead and answer a few questions here. I'm live on both my TikTok and my YouTube channel. And I have a couple of comments here on TikTok that I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can answer. I have just a few more minutes left. And if you can tap the screen as you come in, that would be amazing. Hi everybody, I see you all. I may not be able to mention everybody, but Dawn, I'm not gonna answer that. I'm not sure what you mean. What would you do if when you, okay, so he, yes, would go. That's not making sense. What would you do if, that's not making sense anyway. Okay, there's a lot of scammers around here. All right, let me see over here. Somebody's watching me from Dubai. Thank you, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, guys. So we talked about your fear factor is keeping you, is making you fail. And if you can just let me know where you're watching from. I see somebody from Dubai, and I do appreciate you much. I've got just a few more minutes before I exit out. I'm gonna wait and see if anybody has more questions. Meanwhile, I'm just gonna hang out here for a little bit and see how much we can do together. If you can tap the screen when you come in. Hi, David, I see you. MD Nirale, hi, thank you so much for joining me. So, while we wait, I just don't want it to make awkward. While we wait, let me see what I can share with you guys while we wait, because I had a goal of 30 minutes. I finished my script in a very quick time, quicker than I thought. But I want to hang out with you just a little bit before I exit out. So a few weeks ago, was it on a few weeks ago? No, not a few weeks ago, maybe last week. Last week I was on here as well, and I did a little bit of get to know me video, live video on both my YouTube and my TikTok. Hi, Perfect Investment. Hi from London. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining me. What time is it over there? And I know right now you guys have the perfect weather, if I'm not wrong. While us over here, we are struggling with the rains, the storm, everything is just falling apart. But we know this is the hurricane season. So it's something we expect. Hi, Hawkeye. Thank you so much for joining. We were talking about the fear. Your fear factor is keeping you, is making you fail. Yes. So that's what I talked about. And I just finished talking about the 5 different types of fear. Let me see if I can recall all of them. So the fear of failing, the fear of rejection, the fear of oh my God, did I forget it? Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear that you're not doing enough, fear of judgment, fear that you're being judged by other people. And I now can't think of what my 5th point was, but that's what we're talking about today. And I'm just about to head out. I have 5 minutes, so if you join me, please tap on the screen as you come in. Send some likes over there, both on TikTok and on Facebook. Sorry, not Facebook, but YouTube. Hi, Kari. I see you there on YouTube. Thank you so much. Yeah, welcome, welcome. We're just hanging out and talking about fear. We all get scared in one way or another. We go through trials, we go through tribulations, we go through things that make us scared. Like right now, A lot of people are scared for different things. We are scared about the big, beautiful bill that just passed on. We are scared about what our future holds in terms of careers. We are scared about what may come our way. But one thing that we know is that we can overcome fear. It's all about the perception. And as we said, a no is a step closer to a yes. So just pick up, dust off the dust, and move on. Of course, it's easier said than done. There are certain things that will still keep you stuck for a little bit before you can even move on. But having the right resources with you can help you move to the next step in life. It's Sadiq. Thank you so much. Welcome, guys. Welcome. You can also ask me a question. I'll do my best to answer what I can, and if I have a response. Hey, welcome. Thank you guys. So I have 2 more minutes before I head out, and hopefully I can be back tonight to talk about something different. Or maybe make t-shirts. I've been planning to come on live to make t-shirts. I have my prints, I just need to iron them out, and we can do that together. Yes. Please tap on the screen as you come in. Hi, Nurse Jess, thank you so much for joining. I see you. Yeah, so as we go our ways today and even in the future, let us embrace fear. Let us know that fear is there to make us stronger. Fear is there to make us more open to other opportunities, and even to just help us move on to the next level. Let fear not keep us in a bubble that will make us continue failing. Yes, your fear factor is making you fail. And hopefully, the next time you face fear, you can embrace it and keep moving on. Otherwise, I do appreciate each and every person that was able to tune in, that was able to share some likes, that was able to comment and stay with me, even if not the whole time, but at least part of the video. And I hope we can join each other again next time. And that will be it for me for now, before I move on to my next event of the day. I'm trying to make use of these days that I have off. And one thing I'm trying to do is to create a connection with my followers, both on YouTube and on TikTok. And I hope you can be part of this journey with me. All right, I'm gonna sign out. Bye.